What's up, guys? All right, somebody asked me. Jeremy, you asked. Nate, notice you guys use Medium a lot. Have replaced the traditional blog with the Medium platform, question mark. Interested to know what Medium offers versus normal blog on your site as I'm revamping some goals for our own site. That's a good question. It's actually been kind of a struggle. So I'm going to, for this video, I'm gonna show some of the pros and some of the cons of using Medium, as well as 3 tips that have been kind of interesting, at least 3 tips that I thought have been kind of interesting in how I've approached using Medium. Medium probably needs no introduction. Medium is a very popular kind of blogging network in a way. It provides a way for you to write, but it's more maybe like YouTube. You publish the stuff and it's on their network, and you can kind of get your own page, your own publications, and you can kind of brand it the way you want a little bit, but it's still in the Medium network. When people go to Medium, you know, it's a bunch of stuff that people have kind of subscribed to, and the algorithms tell them that they should look at. It's basically YouTube for writing. Before switching over to Medium, we were just using Tumblr. I had created a very simple blog over at Tumblr, and if you go to blog.highreshq.com, that's what you'd see. Now when you go over to our site, highreshq.com, and you click our blog, it goes to our Medium site, or rather our Medium publication. There's now a Medium publication called HighRes HQ. The pros are really easy to state in Medium. I mean, it's a very clean design that I don't have to worry so much about. The Tumblr interface, it's also very clean, but the design of the blog itself is a theme I had to take from somebody else. I had to tweak it to my liking. You know, that's a feature and a con at the same time. There's a lot more customization, but it's a big pain in the butt to get it the way I want. And so a big pro of Medium is its lack of sophistication. It doesn't really tempt you to try to do a lot of things that you end up in the weeds with. You know, the interface is very clean. Writing is just very focused on the words and not the design, which is what I like. That's what we strive to do here at HighRes. So, I mean, it fits very well with our philosophies. Other huge pros is the fact that there is this huge network of people that's kind of built into Medium. You know, so if someone comes along who really likes our stuff and likes it, I might, you know, quickly get into the networks and the audience of that person, which is great. It's better than just kind of being this other location that has no traffic that all of a sudden now we're trying to raise some attention to. I like Medium a lot, and there's probably plenty of pros, but there's some cons that kind of stick out. One is the fact that because it's like YouTube versus your own site, there's a lot of push back to get into Medium. When somebody reads your article, you know, if someone were to land on, say, what's the best CRM for small business, from a tweet or from, you know, SEO, and they read this, so they might like it and they might click on something about HighRes, but there's a lot of Medium stuff here. For example, the main logo up at the top is Medium. If someone were to kind of click this, they go to Medium. They see a bunch of Medium stuff and they're kind of encouraged to sign up for Medium. What about HighRes? Well, you know, they can click here and that goes to the HighRes publication. Again, it doesn't go to the HighRes homepage. Medium doesn't make it super easy to apply your branding. But again, this is the pro, this is the con. Because they took away all of that customization, they've made Medium a very simple place to get started with, but then it also removes a lot of stuff I kind of had gotten used to at, say, Tumblr, or using something even more sophisticated like WordPress. Another con I would say is Medium gonna be around forever? You know, I mean, you use something like YouTube and you think it's established and Google's running it and you can see its success. Is Medium successful? I don't know, to tell you the truth. I think so. But we don't really know its finances. I don't think they're making a profit yet, so they're running on VC money. We all know how that can end up. VC money's temporary. I hope Medium will keep going. They're trying some new experiments about, you know, getting people to pay for reading articles. That's all great stuff. So hopefully Medium is around for the long term, but you're risking something here, you know? So Signal versus Noise, Basecamp, what they've done is they've created a publication at their own domain. That's easy to do too. So you could have, I could have blog.highreshq.com point to our Medium publication, which would be maybe a good idea. If Medium were ever to shut down, at least I could probably export my content, upload it into something like WordPress, and it's still all hosted off those same links. Maybe. That's always easier said than done. Here's some stuff though that I've done to kind of make our publication better. 3 kind of tips to kind of help us kind of make this whole thing better. I want to get more people over to the HighRes website. Then there's, if you go into here, if you go into your publication at Medium, you can click on navigation, and here's where you can customize things. You can have tabs, and tabs just go to sections of content in your Medium account. So there's something about features, your news, but they do add, you can add 1 tab that links to an outside site, a non-Medium site. So that's where we have try HighRes free, track leads, and it points to HighResHQ.com, but you can only do it one tab. That tab isn't all that, you know, like bold. It's not all that like called out. And to tell you the truth, the design of that is a little weird. Here's a pipe symbol, and then there's extra white space, and then our link. It's just, it's a little off, but that's it. And so that doesn't leave me with enough good feelings about our branding. If you land on this article, I want you to get over to HighRes. So one thing I've done is I've gone in here and you can customize a publication. I don't see a lot of people do this, so maybe it's even kind of new. So you can go to homepage and settings, and you can add what they call, so if you click on homepage and settings and you go into homepage, you know, here's where you can add, you know, different sections of content, and it's usually content on your site, but you can add something called a promo section. All I did was this. I created a promo section and hit a bunch of text and a button, and I mentioned kind of our tagline, track leads, manage follow-ups, zero learning curve, and I add a button which goes to try HighRes for free, and it goes to a URL. You can add some more stuff like a title, an image, change the background color. So you can make this a pretty bold, strong call to action on your Medium publication, and I recommend you do. If you go back to my Medium publication, like here's a story, but now here is a very bold kind of call to action, try HighRes for free. Tip number 2, now this is kind of a pro move. If you use Medium, there's something kind of interesting that happens with Medium. You can only publish a story to 1 publication. So I write a lot of stories and articles at the Signal versus Noise publication because there's a lot of followers there. I want that audience. But I would also like that content to be on HighRes itself, the HighRes publication. If someone's coming into HighRes, I want them to know about this stuff. But if they're on this blog, they don't see it. Well, you'd say, Nate, well, isn't it easy just to write another article and publish it to the HighRes publication? Well, it is, but now all of a sudden, I'm like duplicating my content, and all those followers that I have, I don't want them to be in their feeds like seeing the same story multiple times, even if it's just a summary of the story multiple times. And so that's been a little tricky. I wish Medium had this concept of like a retweet, or, you know, like if I'm on, I could write it in Signal versus Noise, but maybe the HighRes publication could retweet it and it gets special treatment so it doesn't, you know, duplicate my stream. So I've come up with a hack that I thought was kind of interesting. So there's the HighRes HQ publication, but there's also the HighRes HQ user. So there's this HighRes HQ user that can write their own stories. And so one thing I've been doing is I use HighRes HQ, the user, to write on the HighRes HQ publication, so my own personal stream, Nathan, doesn't get duplicate content, but the HighRes HQ user is the one kind of generating this content. Since I own the content, I'm okay copying it. So I copy the article. I basically just copy and paste it over into this other user, publish that on the HighRes HQ publication. I know, it gets kind of crazy. So the only problem with this is I still want people to know if someone were to land on this from my company's website, from from the HighRes website, I still want people to know it's me who's writing this, Nathan, you know, and not just HighRes HQ, the vague entity. So I've kind of created my own kind of way of saying who wrote it. So, you know, up at the top, you usually will see like who wrote it. It'll be Nathan or HighRes, etc. So I've added this kind of bottom section where I put my profile pic, I put my name, I put, you know, HighRes CEO, blah, 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 and kind of a PS. So that is my hack at republishing information to another publication using a different user, but then, you know, kind of calling out who I am at the bottom. And, you know, this is easy. You can kind of left align an image, and then the text just kind of automatically moves itself to the right of that image, and it looks okay. I'm actually trying to get this thing to kind of move over down here, and I'm not doing that successfully enough. Medium likes to kind of truncate extra white space and get rid of extra white space. I could maybe put another image here, or even another break here to make that a little bit, maybe look a little bit better. I've just been debating on how to format that. So that's an interesting hack. I hope that's helpful. The third thing that I have found useful in Medium is I write at signal versus noise a lot. So let's go look at an example of one of my posts at signal versus noise. At the bottom of this is a really nice footer about HighRes. I've kind of branded this article HighRes. If you like my writing, go check out HighRes. Medium likes to do some sort of stuff with images automatically, which makes it tough to have high resolution images that are small. Here's an example. This is someone's typical logo, right? A lot of people have a logo, maybe it's transparent, maybe it's got a white background, whatever, but it's usually pretty close to the same width of the logo and the type mark or the word mark of that logo. This is pretty typical. So I've blown it up so it's like really high resolution, right? This is a giant image. Let me copy and paste it over to a Medium article. That is huge, right? That is way too big. I don't want it that big. So what do I do? So, okay, let's shrink it. In, Mac Preview, Tools, Adjust Size. I only want it to be about 400 pixels wide. Okay, that's a little bit better. But if you notice, and it might be hard to tell in this video, it's fuzzy. It's not high resolution. I don't want it to look fuzzy. So, here's the trick that I figured out. It's a little hack. I haven't seen anybody else do this before. I'm sure people are. Instead of having the logo and the background of the logo all kind of trim nicely to the logo, make the background huge. This is the image that I have in Medium. It's a big version of our logo. It's big, but the whole image, the background is much bigger. It's extremely wide. So when you stick this into Medium, Medium will automatically condense it. And so if you notice, Medium hasn't shrunk the image itself. It's only using CSS to kind of shrink the image. And when you do that, you keep that high resolution. So I just kind of tricked Medium into using the biggest logo it can use for resolution, but then kind of doing that effect where it kind of shrinks the logo down by twice, just using CSS to kind of zoom, out on it to make it look smaller, but the resolution stays high, so that the type still looks sharp. Those are some of the things I've done. I like using Medium as a blog for HighRes. We only have 7 people here, and we're all super busy with the stuff that we do. So there's not a lot of extra time to kind of worry about the person who's going to, say, maintain WordPress, make sure our versions are up to date. And you could say, well, you can hire a company that does that, and that's true. That it just feels like there's something extra then that I have to kind of pay for and worry about. And Medium, just keeps running. But again, I completely admit there's a risk here, and I'm warning you, right? Medium might shut down one day. Hopefully you have a backup plan, and we'll probably end up having to, if that ever happens, we'll have to export the content, upload it to, say, WordPress or Tumblr again. And I hope that doesn't happen. So please pay for Medium. I'm a paying member. I hope that helps. I still recommend it. It's been a nice platform for us to write and share our thoughts and share our features and get traffic back over to our main website. People seem to like the stuff I write over at Signal versus Noise and come back to HighRes. And so that's been kind of a nice accumulation spread of traffic. And that's it. I hope you guys are digging these videos. Please hit the thumbs up. If you're new here, subscribe, of course. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.